We'll see about that.
I'll go ahead and give you those.
Dave just needs to hire one of those guys. And
Could
he
it?
can say it's orange.
Yeah. They're out and about. That's my boy works for me with his husband John. He said he passed one there about on this side of Mill Creek in a buggy.
No kidding.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they about you respond?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard some people complaining about horse pooping around already.
Yeah,
5 or 6 things.
that's what he said. But they're supposed to put signs up. I was talking to the guy at Department of Highways. They got horses.
Are they gonna run certain routes? I mean, cause they could go to the back road to Mill Creek.
Yeah, they said they just want them on the main roads rather than like on 219s on the place. They want the signs.
Well, I was just wondering if the Amish folks would try to stay on the
Just
back
try to stay
roads,
on,
like
yeah.
the Mill Creek and the Beverly
Mhm.
and the back road, they wouldn't get ran over by
Be a lot safer.
18-wheelers. It would be safer.
Yeah, I'd hate to have a horse and buggy on 219 with log trucks.
All right, it's 1:30, we'll go ahead and get started. We'll have the pledge followed by, the prayer, followed by the pledge.
Okay. Father God, you know why we are here. You know the hearts of all men and women. Remind us today of the urgency of being prepared to serve our fellow human beings in time of need. Help us as helping agents always to be available to the collective as well as the individual needs of others in times of emergency and when people are in stressful and hurting situations. Give us an understanding of the reason why we exist and serve. We affirm today, O Lord, that a better community and a better Randolph County and a better America begins with us. Bless now this gathering, and may God bless Randolph County and God bless America. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I call the meeting to order for agenda business, public comment. Mr. Sheriff.
Richard Device.
I'd say since November 2020, I have attended over a dozen Randolph County Commissioner meetings, using public comment to express my concerns regarding the use of body cams when it comes to the Randolph County Sheriff's Department. Over a year ago, Brian Talkington came to my house with a personal agenda and made a false arrest with improbable cause, which I found out over a year later after numerous West Virginia Freedom of Information Act requests and a great deal of resistance from the Randolph County Sheriff's Department. Magistrate and prosecuting, the Sheriff's Department magistrate and prosecuting attorney office. Talking to him not only harassed and threatened my family while deputies Knox and Pennington stood guard outside, but also falsified a criminal complaint. I can make this statement and back it up with 3 other witnesses, and Talkington has none. With the help of the Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Alexa Poley, Magistrate Mike Dyer and Ben Shepard, I was denied due process in which my handicap was used against me. Since then, I have personally expressed my frustrations and concerns with Sheriff Elvin, trying to resolve this issue by even suggesting a sit-down with Talkington, who was too much of a coward to do so. But my efforts went nowhere. Furthermore, former Commissioner Mark Scott and Sheriff Elvin have both told me numerous occasions there is no money for body cams, but it seems as if the present commissioners have no problem handing out taxpayer money like it's candy to the Sheriff's Department to the tune of hundreds of thousands of dollars. It seems that not only body cams are needed, but also dash cams as well. By the way, vehicle collisions have occurred as of late involving the Randolph County Sheriff's Department personnel. Just recently, Deputy Knox was involved in a vehicle collision up the valley in which another individual was blamed for without any charges being made. as of late, which is very odd and lucky nobody was seriously hurt this time. There was a lot of compassion shown throughout the community for Deputy Knox and K-9 Hacker, but not a single apology from anyone in the Randolph County Sheriff's Office to my family, not to mention from the prosecuting attorney's office, who also threatened my wife with a criminal charge when she called them trying to straighten out Talkington's lies. By the bad actions of Talkington, who's really going to hurt somebody one of these days, not to mention the string of vehicle accidents lately, so much more emphasis needs to be put on training instead of continually purchasing new equipment and additional officers. In closing, a quote from Sir Walter Scott comes to mind, which states, "Oh, what a tangled web we weave when we first practice to deceive." By the way, I left a copy of the public comment, has been left with the Randolph County Commissioners. Thank you for your time.
Okay, anybody else, Sheriff?
No, sir.
All right, next item on the agenda is minutes from the last meeting.
Okay, I move that we approve the minutes as submitted from the Randolph County Commission meeting, which was held November 18th of 2021.
Okay, motion on the floor is to approve the minutes from our November 18th meeting. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right, reports. Kurt?
No, sir, I don't have anything.
Tina?
No, sir, I don't have anything either, thank you.
Phyllis? Anything besides that?
Brenda.
No, sir.
All right,
Brenda.
Brenda, you the big guy here blocking us out, so. Correspondence? Okay, our next meeting is December the 16th, and that's our last meeting of this year. All right, that's the announcements. Okay, items for discussion. Consider approving the moving of an assessor's office employee from part-time to full-time.
Good afternoon. I think you should have a copy of my letter.
We do.
Okay. A 25-year employee in my office and my office deputy, Debbie Eisner, is retiring the first week in January. So I'm requesting to move Stephanie Simmons, currently a part-time employee, to a full-time position. Stephanie's salary will be $25,000 with benefits, and it will be paid out of my regular county budget. Her position will become full-time on December 20th. And Stephanie has worked for my office for several years. She worked full-time for a while and then went to part-time, but I would like to put her back to full-time now. I will also be moving some positions around in my office to cover all aspects of my office, and I'll be appointing a new office deputy and some deputy assessors.
Make a motion for that?
Okay, I move that we approve the moving of an assessor's office employee from part-time to full-time status. And this person will be, move Stephanie Simmons from part-time to full-time in the assessor's office. And let's see what else. All right, Stephanie's salary will be $25,000 with full benefits and paid out of the regular budget, and her position will become full-time on December 20th of 2021.
All right, motion on the floor is to approve the moving of Stephanie Simmons, who's currently a part-time employee, to a full-time position. Her salary will be $25,000 with full benefits and paid out of Phyllis's regular county budget. Her position will become full-time effective on December 20th, 2021. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Thank you, Phyllis.
Thank
There
you
you go.
very much.
Yeah, Phil, thanks.
All right. Next item on the agenda is considering hiring of a new deputy for the sheriff's office.
Ladies and gentlemen, commissioners, I come to you today in reference to a request to hire Lance Elvin as an uncertified probationary deputy sheriff. We respectfully request the approval to hire Lance Elvin as a full-time benefited, uncertified probationary deputy sheriff. Due to the inclusion of Mr. Elvin on the current certified list, the sheriff appointed a hiring board to complete the hiring process. The members appointed were Chief Deputy Sharp, Captain Swisher, and myself. If approved, Mr. Elvin's beginning uncertified salary would be $40,000 annually, After successful completion of West Virginia State Police Academy and obtaining a certification, the salary will increase to $44,000 annually. Mr. Elvin was raised in Randolph County and graduated from Elvis High School. After graduating high school, he enlisted in the U.S. Army and served active duty for nearly 8 years in a military police unit. After completing the military service, he moved back to Randolph County where he currently resides with his family. An extensive background investigation was completed by our office, which he successfully passed. Mr. Elvin would be available to begin work with the deputy sheriff or with the sheriff's office after submitting a 2-week notice with his current employee or employer. And it's signed respectfully, Chief Deputy Sharp, Captain Swisher, and myself.
All right. Do you have a motion?
Yes, sir. I'll make a motion to approve the hiring of Lance Elvin as a full-time benefited probationary sheriff. His beginning uncertified salary will be $40,000 annually. Will increase $44,000 upon the completion of the West Virginia State Police Academy and obtaining the certification.
Okay, so the motion on the floor is to approve the hiring of Lance Elvin as a full-time benefited probationary deputy sheriff. His beginning uncertified salary will be $40,000 annually, increased to $44,000 upon completion of the West Virginia State Police Academy, and it'll take effective as soon as he gets his 2 weeks notice. Is that correct? All right, any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. Thank you.
Thank you. You all have a great day.
Next item on the agenda is to consider approval of the funding request from the town of Mill Creek. Is somebody here from Mill Creek? All right, so I have a letter.
Yeah, here we go. Town of Mill Creek.
All right, so we started our ARC funding that we've got from the government, and we received $2.7 million, and it's this year and 2.7 again next year, to be used for infrastructure purposes. And the state is putting a lot of money into broadband. Broadband was one of the infrastructure projects that you could be using it for, along with water, sewer. Mm-hmm. So we're looking at doing some water projects, and one that stands out is the town of Mill Creek. They want to increase their capacity, and they have committed themselves $83,773 to completing a project, and they're asking us for, and the total project's $1.9 million. They're asking us for $668,021.76 to help with that commitment to finish this project, and it's
I believe we're picking up 400 new customers.
they're requesting it to their water project consisting of replacing all the water lines in the system, some of which are over 100 years old. They serve 400 customers, residential, commercial, and government. They started this project in 2016. They had problems with the contractor. They bid the project out, currently a new bid to it. And again, they've got 83,000 of the 1.9, and they're asking us for 668,000. And if they do that, then they can get $950,000 in a matching grant. So we're helping them with our 668,000 plus, and their $83,000 plus would be the half of it that they need to qualify for that matching grant. Then they'll get another $950,000 as a matching grant. So I'd like to have a motion so that we approve that request.
Okay. Glasses. Okay, I move that we approve the funding request from the town of Mill Creek in the amount of $668,021.76 to be taken from the American Rescue Plan Fund.
All right, so the motion on the floor is to approve the funding request from the town of Mill Creek in the amount of $668,021.76. Again, they have $83,773.68, which will be the half that they need for a matching grant. They would get another $950,000 for that $1.9 million project that they need. So all this money is coming from the American Rescue Plan Fund that we got from the federal government that we can use for infrastructure projects. All right, so any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right. Next item on the agenda is another project for the Huttonsville PSD, and it's a funding request that they requested, again, to come from the ARC funding. And this one This one is, total amount on this one is is it 139,000?
I believe so.
Yeah, the total project is 139,500 that they're requesting. We gave them some at the beginning of where they had, at the beginning of our program, that they came back and they're wanting to, replace water meters, the new water meters that are radio, they don't have to go there and check them, they can actually.
Drive by and check it,
Yeah.
you don't have to get out.
An aerator at the wastewater plant, and they want a new billing program. They came to us a couple meetings ago and talked about it. It's a new, through Microsoft, I believe, a new billing program for them. So the total cost on this thing is $139,000 and $139,500. So I'd like to have a, motion to approve this, and
Okay.
again, this will come from the ARP funding.
We only needed 90, correct?
No, it's 139,500.
It's 139,500.
Yeah,
Alright, I'll make the motion on that.
okay, it's 139,500.
Now, I make a motion to approve the funding request from Huttonville PSD in the amount of $139,500, to be taken from the American Rescue Plan Fund.
Okay, motion on the floor is to approve the, funding request from the Huttonville PSD, again, coming from our ARP funding that we received from the federal government. It's for, roughly $20,000 for an aerator, at the wastewater, backup pump, is $7,500, $75,000 for, they wanna replace 250 water meters with radio meters, and then, 16,000 for a chlorine system, and then for their new, billing program. So it's a total of $139,500. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next item on the agenda is consider approval of a quote from Mountaineer Generator Service. This is an annual thing for monitoring and inspection, and then our yearly service. We have, how many, is it 14?
Well, we've had about all the fire departments, and we
14
have
or 15.
entire Rich Mountain.
17, there's 17 generators that we're responsible for, and we upkeep, it's at the Mill Creek Senior Center, and that's because it's a,
Emergency shelter.
okay,
Actually, that's why most of these were installed, but just after Sandy and the derecho, we didn't have anywhere to put people, so then all the fire departments now are emergency shelters.
okay. So we got,
Plus a few of those.
Yeah, we've got-
Senior center.
at the airport, the courthouse annex, the Weiss, building. So we have a total of those, generators, and they need a system upgrade, and that's an initial cost this year that we won't have going forward, but it's an upgrade of $12,375, and then a yearly monitoring of $9,110, a 6-month inspection of $4,550, and then a full service, one of $9,350. So the total for this, coming year for 2022 is $35,385.
I think the upgrade is when you go to 5G, so they keep up, check all the generators from their phones or their computers.
So in the past, the county has maintained a remote monitoring platform on most of the generators due to shutting down of AT&T's 3G network. We need to upgrade the current system. The cost to upgrade those to a 5G network is $12,300. So that's just a
That's
one
included?
time. Yeah, that's in the 35,385.
Okay.
All right, so to have a motion to approve the, quote from Mountaineer Generator Service for the next year's, monitoring of our generators.
Okay, I'll move we approve the quote from Mountaineer Generator Service in the amount of $35,385, taken from courthouse contractual, and that's the cost for next year's monitoring.
2022.
2022.
All right, so the motion on the floor is to approve the quote from Mountaineer Generator Service in the amount of $35,385 to be taken from courthouse contractual for our next year's service contracts on our 17 plus or whatever generators. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right, next, Brenda. Consider approval of changes of the magistral district and precinct boundaries for Randolph County. Now, we expect this to be front page.
No,
I want Brenda on the front page.
no.
Come on, Brenda.
So every 10 years, when the census happens, after the census happens, the state and the county has to do redistricting. So the state does their part of it first, and then it comes to the county. We have to redistrict the magisterial lines and precincts if needed. So this year when they did it, when they changed the House of Delegates line, they basically put the House of Delegates line right down through the middle of Randolph County. Whereas before, there was only a little portion that was different. We were all in 43, and only Pickens was in 44. That was the only precinct that was different. Now that they've moved that House of Delegates line right through the middle of the county, that has made us make some changes. Now, as for people's precincts, the boundaries on some of the precincts have changed, and this is the map showing the new lines. Everybody in the brown, the dark brown or light brown, is all in Cheat District for magisterial. Everybody in all the greens are in Elkins, and everybody in the blues are all in Taggart. So it only affected 6 or 7 precincts really of the lines where they changed. So you may have to go to a different precinct to vote than you did before. We will be mailing everybody that it affects a new voter registration card with a letter explaining, why this was done. And these maps are on this will be hung up in my office for anybody to come and see. And we need to get all this done before the filing period starts January 10th. Because certain offices, when you file for office, you need to know what district you're in, like the county commission and the board of education. But everybody that's affected will be sent a letter, and it's only going to affect, we're estimating about 1,200 voters, and we have about 18,000 voters. So about 1,200 people is going to be affected with moving where you normally vote to a different location. We're still going to have our same 27 precincts. We didn't have to add any precincts or take any precincts away, but it's just the lines of a couple of the precincts had to be moved. And we've put notices in the newspaper, we've put notices on the courthouse doors, and then also in the districts. We had to put notices up for 14 days that we were going to do this. And I haven't received any calls or any complaints about anything in my office. So I just need this order signed that you all agree that we're going to change it, and this will take effect for the May 2022 primary and forward after that.
Alright, so this is something done every 10 years.
10 years.
You have to keep the 3 districts, pretty much the population.
Population wise, you've got to try to keep them as close as possible in population wise, which I don't know if he has it on this one or not. But on one of the maps he sent me, it has it on there.
Yeah, you showed it to us.
But that's why we had to move some people, because of the population, trying to
And
keep.
because of the House of Delegates, that's really the main
The
thing.
starter of it all.
Yes.
Alright,
Because our population in Randolph County didn't change that much. Once they got the census information in, it didn't change by much. But with them changing that line for House of Delegates, that's what caused this.
and that's what we've been waiting on, is them to finalize that.
Yes.
So
So
that
we
can
can
do
get
our part.
started, yes.
And you had an outside company do this?
Yeah, Landmark Forestry, their name is on there on the bottom. But they're the ones, they work with the assessor's office and they work with our office. They did this the last time for us, and they do a good job.
Okay.
Very good.
So we're going to approve the changes of the magisterial district and precinct boundaries. And then I'll sign the order, right? Is that what we need to do?
If we agree on it.
Alrighty, so do I have a motion to approve the changes of the magisterial district and precinct boundaries for Randolph County?
Yes, I'll make a motion to approve the magistrate and precinct boundaries adjustments as submitted.
Alright, so motion on the floor is to approve the changes of the magisterial districts and precinct boundaries for Randolph County as submitted by Brenda, the county clerk. Any further discussion? All in favor? Alright. Next item on the agenda is second reading, and it's a final reading of the amendments to the Randolph County Unsafe Building Land Ordinance. Is there anything new or from that do you have? Do you have any questions for that? So if we approve this today, the changes to the unsafe buildings and land ordinance will go into effect
I
after.
think just minor changes.
Yeah. So do you have a motion for that then?
Yeah, I move that we approve the second and final reading of the amendments to Randolph County unsafe buildings and land ordinance as presented.
All right, so motion on the floor is to approve the reading of the amendments to the Randolph County unsafe buildings and land ordinance. And again, we've had them out there, since last meeting, for instance sake. All right, so is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Final settlements and annual counties. Got six. Motion to approve the six final settlements.
Motion to approve the 6 final settlements as presented.
Okay, motion on the floor is to approve the 6 final settlements as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Did you all have anything you want?
No, we're Mountaineer Generator Service.
Oh, okay.
Well, you could have spoke on it.
Well, yes.
You did a fine
You did a
job.
great job, you know. It's okay.
Tina, did you have anything?
No,
All right.
I was on him on the phone so many times.
Well, now you can put a name, a face with a name.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, you can switch numbers or something. Well, you already got that. All right, so budget revisions.
How many we got?
3.
3, budget.
Yes, budget revision.
In-house.
So we have an in-house budget revision. Given, money to, hotel motel to the,
Yeah, that was just a coding error when they budgeted over on the bookkeeping side. It's just
so
putting
it's
the
to
money where it
correct a
should be.
budgeting error. All right, so there's an in-house budget revision to correct a budgeting error. It was supposed to be, it was in the other 50% contribution line, and it's supposed to go to the visitor center contribution line. All right, so, they're just moving us to the proper line. It's 32,945.35. So we're decreasing other 50% contribution line and increasing where it's supposed to be in the visitor center contribution line, 32,945.35. So I have a motion to approve that in-house budget revision.
I'll give you a motion to approve it as presented.
Okay, motion on the floor is to approve the in-house budget, as presented. It's moving, just correcting a budgeting error of, moving it from other 50% contribution line to the visitor center contribution line. It's 32,945.35. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, next one
This
is,
is a state budget revision for the dog warden. When we did the budget last year, we only had one dog warden, and then we hired a part-time one and got her vehicle off the sheriff to use, and had to put some money in when the vehicle would get runnable. So this is moving $1,500 from courthouse contractual to dog warden auto supplies. And it's a state budget revision.
all right, so motion on the floor is to approve the state budget revision. And again, it's moving, $1,500 from our courthouse contractual line to the dog warden line, his automotive supplies. And it's $1,500. So state budget revision, Commissioner C.
Aye.
Commissioner Siler.
Aye.
Commissioner Keesling, aye. Motion, approved. All right, next one. Huh?
Pardon?
Can I have it back now?
No.
But we got fixed up. Yeah, he gives some money, we'll give it back.
We spent $1,500, if you give me $3,000, you can have it back. Okay, we have another state budget revision, and again, this is addressing and mapping.
It's for the road sign project, so we
Oh,
can,
so we're moving on with it. We're buying more signs?
it's so we can pay the bills for the road sign project. We just didn't put any money on that line because we hadn't started yet.
All right, so this is for the, addressing and mapping. It's, where we're going, they started it out in Colton and,
The Norton area.
all right, putting up the signs for the, addressing, the new, and then where they had to rename the streets and stuff. So we've started that. So we're taking $50,000 from our courthouse contractual and moving it to the addressing and mapping so we can pay some bills and get more signs where they gotta put up. All right, so a state budget revision, I need a motion for that.
Aye.
No. Motion. So there's a
I move
motion.
that we approve the state budget revision.
All right, so,
$50,000 is taken from courthouse contractual to address and mapping.
all right, so state budget revision, Commissioner C.
Aye.
Commissioner Siler.
Aye.
Commissioner Kessling. Aye.
Easy over there, Siler.
All right, Ken, Mr. Haney. Good help out the old guy. So that's all the budget revisions. Division of property erroneous assessments.
We have 3.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve the 3 as presented.
Motion on the floor is to approve the three, is it erroneous assessments as
Yeah.
submitted. Any,
Valuation orders.
so any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any distressed properties?
One lien agreement and 2 settlements,
I have distressed properties, one lien agreement
and 2 settlements.
and 2 settlements,
As presented?
as presented.
Okay, motion on the floor is to approve the one lien and then
2 settlements.
two settlements. So the one lien and 2 settlements as presented, and this is for the distressed properties. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Fire fee adjustments.
We got one.
One fire fee adjustment.
I move that we approve the fire fee adjustment as submitted.
Motion on the floor is to approve the one fire fee adjustment as submitted. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Payment of the bills.